أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم وفقنا وسائر المشتغلين للعلم والعمل الصالح بحق محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Our God Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in His holy book Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِمْ فِعْلَ الْخَيْرَاتِ وَإِقَامِ الصَّلَاةِ وَإِيتَاءِ الزَّكَاةِ وَكَانُوا لَنَا عَابِدِينَ. This verse of the Holy Quran, it can represent or it can connect it with our title of this meeting, inshallah. And the title of our meeting is The Youth and the Model. Why we should follow the model? Who is the model? Actually, the model is the person whom we think that he is a perfect person, because this is the nature of a human being, to look after somebody who is perfect and try to imitate him, try to follow him in all his acts. My dear daughters and my dear sons, you are as a youth, you are as leaders for the community in the future, inshallah. We used to have somebody in our life to be our model. Actually, we think that the actress, just like James Bond, or some of the other actresses, or some of the singers, just like Karim Sahar and so on, Nancy Ajram, to be our models. But if we go deeply in their real life, are they really models? Are really they acting and doing in their actual life just like what they are on screen or not? This is what we have to think. And many problems happened in our life, daily life, that we have taken such personalities as models, but in fact they are not. If we go to their life, their daily life, we find there are many social problems, many things that we dislike these things in their life, just like divorce, just like addicted of having heroin, having smoking hookah or something like that. So these are not the real models to have. Actually, we put in our imagination that those people, they are the models, but they are models were on screen only, but in their real life they are not. They are not. Now, if you look to them in their life, in their real life, with their families, with their wives, with their kids, with their normal life, do you find they are just like you have seen them on the screen or not? Can anybody answer me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I know everybody who is going to act a movie or a series on a screen, they're going to tell him to do such thing and to act such thing. If he did some mistakes, they are going to delete this picture or this video from the series or from the video, and they add something new. So it is not their real life. Nowadays, many of our youth, they imitate them by their dress, by their haircuts, by their maybe actions. But I'm telling them, my sons, those characters or these characters aren't real. They aren't real. Believe me, they aren't real. Go to their real life and you can read the reports which explain many problems about them in their real lives. Just like they divorce their wives, they make crimes, they have connected with some leagues. So in reality, they are not good models to follow. While Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows that in the innate of the human beings is looking after what? After the model. So He put to us, or He made to us, great models to follow. Great models and perfect models in their creation, great models in their speech, great models and perfect, not only great, but perfect models in their thoughts, perfect models in their deeds, even in their real life. As we said in Arabic, نحن أصحاب الدليل نميل حيثما يميل. We are the people whom they are looking after the evidences. Whenever the truth or the evidence exists, we follow it. So nowadays, from tens or hundreds of years, we never find persons just like the infallible imams to be followed. If anybody right now has an infallible person to tell me to follow, I will follow. I'm ready to follow. But according to my study, according to the history, according to the actions, according to what the history has told us, we never and ever found such people like our infallible imams. So why we leave the truth and we follow the lies? This is a big question we have to ask. I am as a young, definitely I'm not young, I'm so old, maybe you're a grandpa, but I'm talking about you. And as a young person, I have to think, I have to make my mind working, not to just lock it and keep it away and to follow somebody I don't know if he is the true or if he is not the true, incorrect or correct. So I have to think, since I want a model to follow, I have to think what are the steps, or why should I follow the model? Why shouldn't I be the model? Actually, because I do not have the experience in this life, I need somebody before me. In Arabic, there is a proverb said, اللي ما عنده كبير يحط عمامته ويستشير. I think the old one knows what I'm talking about. The person whom he doesn't have a leader or a model, he should create a model. This is the meaning of this proverb in English. So if we go during these years when I was young, there are many actors, many singers, young people, they follow them. They follow them by their dress, they follow them by their haircut, they follow them by maybe makeup and so on. But what is the result? Tell me, what is the result? There is nothing. Everything is going in vain in the future because they are good persons only on screen, but in real life they committed sins. In the real life they doing bad deeds. In real life they doing bad acts. So their reality is completely different from what they seems to be on screen. So we have to think about the model and why we should follow the model and who is the model, not to be deceived by the cameras, not to be deceived by the media, and to follow somebody who doesn't deserve to be followed. Why? Because he is not an infallible person. I have models, and those models are ready for me, and they are applied in all times. Maybe one of you will ask me a question, oh Sheikh Ameer, the infallible Imams, they are in the past time, and we are in modern days, modern years, modern living of way. So why we should follow? My sons and my daughters, the life of Ahlul Bayt could be applied in all ages, in all duration, in all period of times. What Ahlul Bayt Salamullahi alayhim they lived in, it could be in our daily life. And you can take many of the quotes of Ahlul Bayt and think of it. You can have it these days or not. So for example, I give you one example. This example, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, once he saw a person wearing a golden ring in his finger. So the Prophet took off this ring out of his finger and threw it away. And he told him, it is good for you if you have fire in your hand. So nowadays, the new reports, the scientists, they discover that if a man, not a woman, if a man wears a golden thing, just like a ring, a necklace, and something like that, bracelet, okay, it is not good for him. So here, what the Prophet has said before 1700 years ago, it is applied nowadays. This is one example. So now the Prophet deserved to be followed or not? And what is going on now among the students in university? When a person is talking, they will say, oh yes, do not be Hawza or Hawzaki, and so on. So if a person follows the infallible Imams, that means he is Hawzaki, he is not true. What is the balance that you are making the things? What is the logic thing in your mind to compromise these things, whether they are true or false? Please, you have to think of a model thing to follow. Before 2 months, we are in Rabi' al-Awwal and Safar before and Ashura. We have the incident of Muharram and what had happened during the day of Muharram. I'm not going to talk about the whole day, the whole incidents, but I will talk about this incident, what had happened between Ali al-Akbar, salamullahi alayh, and Imam al-Hussein, what had happened between al-Qasim ibn al-Hassan and Imam al-Hussein. Generally, that Imam al-Hussein asked al-Qasim ibn al-Hassan, are you ready to die? Then Imam al-Qasim ibn al-Imam al-Hassan asked his uncle, I am the one with whom is are going to be died tomorrow? Then Imam Hussein kept a while silent, not saying a word. Then after a while, he told him, yes, my son, you will be the one of the martyrs tomorrow. Then Al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, Al-Qasim ibn al-Hassan al-Mujtaba was so happy. Why? Because he told his uncle, I am the one is going to defeat the enemies and to defend the enemies and to defeat you. Look, those young people, how they think at those days. Ali al-Akbar, he just like your ages. Ali al-Akbar told his father, I don't care if I dies or the death is coming up to me. I don't care. Since I am in the right side, I don't care. Now, please, I'm asking you, my daughters and my sons, when you face something in your university, something which is not good, for example, you are as a male student or as a female student. For example, you are as a male student. If you see somebody who is harassing as a female student, are you going to stop him or not? Or are you going to say, no, sha'layana, this is not my affair, this is not my business? According to you, the female students, if you see a female student, another female student, who is she not wearing hijab, or she is putting a makeup in the university, are you going to tell her, my sister, what you are doing? This is not a good way, this is haram, but in a right way. Do you have such courageous personality to say that or not? Do you have a good character to explain the truth and the fact to this girl and to that boy in a right and respectable way or not? So, for these things, and definitely in the future, I'm one of the people, I'm going to die, maybe now or after a while. So I need one of you to come and sit here and to talk with the young. One of you to take my position, to lead the students. So, do you think, do you have a model for you? Do you put somebody in your mind to be a model or not? And this model, is he the right choice or not? I have to think of this. I mean, you have to think of this. Now, is this model is guiding me to the right path, which I can survive or live in this life and hereafter or not? This is a big question. I have to find an answer as fast as I can. Not to leave it like that. Not to say, no, it doesn't matter. Life is going on. Whether if I will have a model or not. No, this is incorrect. You have to find a model. Actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a model for us. So why should I think of a new model? If you follow the models, just like in media, an actress, a singer, or something like that, that means you are following your whims, not following your intellect. And as a result, when you are following your whims, that means you are not reaching the right aim, the right goal. Absolutely not. And by the way, my sons and daughters, we are not living two times. It is only one time to live. Not two times, only one time to live. I have to fulfill all the minutes, all the hours, days, months of this time in a correct way, because this is not the real life. وَإِنَّ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ دَارُ الْحَيَوَانِ. That the hereafter is the living one, not this life. So this life is just a bridge. It is just a means to cross to the hereafter. And you have to choose how to live this life. This is one thing. Another thing, before I move to another branch topic, another thing, whatever you did, listen to this sentence please carefully, whatever you did in this life, it will be presented as something in hereafter. What does that mean? That means, for example, if I give a charity to a poor person, you know, charity, I help him with some money to a poor person, okay? When I die, inshallah, I'll find a hur'een, a very beautiful hur'een. Definitely there is male hur'een and female hur'een waiting for me. I say, oh wow, this is a beautiful hur'een. Where are you from? She told me, since that you gave this charity, this money to a poor person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created me for you because of this act. Subhanallah. So how many you can make hur'een? How many castles you can build in the akhirah, in the hereafter, in paradise? Huh? Many, a lot. Okay? Another thing, as to have model in this life, we take from Ashab al-Hussein as great models. Now you cannot tell me that there isn't any model or there aren't any model nowadays. I remind you, if you remember the verdict of al-Jihad al-Kifai against IS, if you remember that, how many of young people they volunteer to defend the country and defeated the enemies? How many? Thousands of young people, they volunteer. Where are they came from? Why they came? And all of them, they came and volunteered because of what? Because they have models. They have Ali al-Akbar as a model. Nobody think that he is going to die and he is scared of death, afraid of death. Absolutely not. They are not thinking of that. They were thinking how to defend this country against the enemies and protect this country against the enemies. And they did. Thousands of them were martyred, and they succeeded in their goals because of what? Because they have what? Because they have good models. So I'm about to finish my lecture to you, and I hope that each one of you, my sons and daughters, have a model in their life, in her or in his life, because this model will make a plan for you to reach to the goal. Okay, last question for you. Which one of you wish to be with Ashab al-Hussein? Only you? How about the rest? Nobody wish to be with Ashab al-Hussein? Nobody? You wish to be them. You, good. How about the rest? معك واحد يتمنى يكون مع أصحاب الحسين؟ Huh? All of us, good. So, since we want to be buried with Ashab al-Hussein, we have to take Ashab al-Hussein as models for us in this life. Models, Ashab al-Hussein, they never left their salah while it is a battle day. They never left their recommended acts, just like Salatul Layl, while it is the night of a battle next day. They never cooperate with each other. They never let following or obeying their infallible Imam in their acts. Even in last minutes, even John, he is a slave. A slave. You know what does it mean, a slave? A slave that they used to buy him with money, and they can do whatever they like with him. Nobody asked them. Nobody judged them, because he's just like an animal. But John came to be from a slave, and now whenever you visit Imam Hussein, you visit John. What a kind of reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think I have to stop here. That's all for today. I'm so happy to meet all of you. Inshallah, these meetings will be happened and held again and again. And at the end, I'd like to thank all the Ataba al-Abbasiyya and all the staff, and also the staff with Ma'luma, and also the staff from Ataba Husseiniya Qism al-Khitaba, and all your coming will be welcomed in the holy shrine of Al-Ataba al-Abbasiyya and Al-Ataba al-Husseiniya. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala